Oh, hello everybody, welcome back. We are going to be doing the Wasteseeker Combat test. We're going to be doing 1.4, 2.1, and 2.2. These are pretty easy. They're very similar to what we had for 1.1 through 1.3, except for we're going to have two waves of enemies, and there's going to be one particular wave that is geared toward faster ships with better tracking. But that'll be the only issue if you have very bad tracking. Alright, so we're gonna get started like we have been. We're gonna do the Aeon running through it, and then we're gonna swap to the Alphas running through them, and then we're gonna go to T10 day 1. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey Jenner, how you doing today?
Undocking.
So like I said, the only kind of difference that you're gonna expect this week is having two waves of enemies. This week also does bring scrams and stuff, so if you have been using a micro warp drive to try to stay alive, expect that scram ships will shut that down. Hey Riley, how you doing today?
Warp drive active.
We are still continuing to use the new heavy bombers here. I know I can't use the bombs, but I can actually use their application. Cool. Yeah, we'll be done with the full set pretty soon with the Aeon. The thing that we're really looking for on the Aeon here is all of the debuffs. You'll notice we have disruptors. We've got.
We're being warp
Let's see if I can
scrambled.
actually get it pulled up here, or if it'll even let me. There we are.
We're
So we've
being
got
warp
guidance
scrambled.
disruption. We've got target painters. We got sensor dampeners, tracking disruptions, and a disruptor. It's nice to have a ship that literally just doesn't care. Um, what weapon system are you using, Riley?
Docking request accepted.
Yep, I do need a Moros. Yeah, what weapon type? Like, are you using rifled railguns, or... Okay. Is it the, long-range pulse lasers?
Undocking.
Or long-range beam lasers, I should say. Close range. Okay, so you've got the pulse lasers. Hmm. Are you using the pulse crystal implant or the multi-frequency implant? Because you could probably fix that by using the multi-frequency on the ships that are a struggle for you. But you're definitely gonna need some pretty good webs and maybe even a scram.
Warp drive active.
We're being warp scrambled.
Okay. Pulse experimental, huh?
We're being warp scrambled.
So you've got focus crystal and pulse experimental. Yeah, unfortunately, neither of those are really helping you out. Yeah, that's true. It's pretty nice, the, focus basic.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
What I'm also looking for here
We're being warp scrambled.
is I'm looking for the names of certain battleships. And I can't remember what those names are, but there are particular ones that really like to run away. And so I need to keep an eye on that. Yeah, Aeon just really doesn't care about these things. It'll sit here all day, every day. Outtank these guys. Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be the next set of missions that we get that start having those battleships that run away very quickly. So you need to keep an eye on it. Alright, so that is all 3 missions on
Docking request accepted.
the Aeon. That's pretty good. Oh no, I still gotta do 2.2. Okay. That's Dormant Realm. I'm not here to do Dormant Realm. Alright, one last mission here.
Enemy ships detected.
So this is the mission in particular that will have ships that are hard to track for most weapon systems. There's a lot of small ships on this first wave that are very fast. They're not particularly deadly, but they can become problematic because they are so fast.
Warp drive active.
You'll probably hear a lot of like warp scramble noises and things like that as well.
We're being warp scrambled.
There it is. So now we're being warp
scrambled.
scrambled 3 times. So if you're a micro warp drive ship, you need to kill that thing first to get your micro warp drive back. So Riley, what I would tell you is try swapping to the beam lasers, the ones that have like 100+ kilometer range. Grab yourself like an afterburner and just set your range to 100 kilometers when you warp in, turn around, and start burning away from the enemies. Try to kill as many of them as possible with your beam lasers at 100 kilometers before they get a chance to come close to you. I don't know if you've tried that yet, but it could make a difference in actually enjoying the Wasteseeker event. But yeah, try to have, like, when you're looking at the range on the beam lasers, try to be somewhere between 100 kilometers fall off, or total, 100 kilometer range, all the way up to like 150 kilometer range. That way you have the best chance.
We're under attack.
So whatever you have to do to change your build around to fit that, that'll be a really good way to handle it. Yeah, I really don't think we're gonna have a problem later on in the... Yeah, your old long-range fit will probably work, but you do need like an afterburner or a micro-warp drive to try to keep the range as far as possible. Okay. Yeah, you could probably swap the heat sinks for tracking computers. Because the DPS isn't really a problem in this event that I can tell. It does seem some ships are having more trouble than others. But you should be
Docking
able to
request
swap those
accepted.
heat sinks for tracking computers. Alright, so that is all of the missions on the Aeon. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you've already got 2, there's no point in having 4. Let me just make sure we do not have another one. That is correct. So this one will open on October 1st. Yeah, you can probably add one more, and then have like an afterburner or something if you're not using the Citadel module. Alright, so let's go ahead and swap over to the Alphas. They're sitting on 3 Cobras now. So you're gonna watch 3 Cobras try to sort of like AFK their way through. We've got plenty of capacitors, so we're just gonna try to get in there. Yeah, the Vindicator tanks really nicely. I've seen a couple of really cool builds come out of this. Ah, I need to swap the micro warp drive. I do not need that. I'm thinking I'm gonna swap it for the Republic Fleet large shield extender. Which I don't have on this character. And that should actually keep us pretty well off. Yeah, right now, in the bottom right, what you're seeing is my resist with just the, reds and the yellow. Which actually, you don't see that. Image, browse. Funny. Let me see what I can find here. Yeah, there we go. Yep, there it is. So yeah, that's the resist on this ship with just the 3 reds and the yellow. None of them have any integrations or anything, but all 3 ships are identical in terms of their fit. The only difference will be their their nanocore. I believe we determined we had a lot better time with the ogres rather than the assault berserkers. But I think I still want to go with assault berserkers because they are much faster. We've got about a 32-kilometer missile range, and these have a command range of 65 kilometers, so it should be good. And then we're going to rely on our shield boosters here, group shield boosters here, to keep us alive.
Undocking.
Yep, we're doing like we did last time around. We're gonna let them run as hard as they can, and see what they do. Because if this works, it's because it worked on the rattlesnakes. It may be worth somebody looking into a rattlesnake and just like AFKing the first 6 missions or something.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
Alright, away it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. I just realized I turned off my auto orbit. Well, this will be an interesting test to watch them just tank it at 0. They really should be orbiting and stuff. I'd rather have them moving rather than just taking full damage. Something to note about these Wasteseekers, like we saw last week, they are mostly kinetic and explosive, so having a yellow reactive hardener will benefit you significantly if your tank is struggling. Yeah, the tank is definitely, having a little bit of trouble. But we can use our shield extenders to kind of offset that a little bit. Wow, the extender looks like it did nothing. So one of the problems we're encountering here is just the high amount of resistance that these ships have, on top of just like tracking issues and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. Seems like the tank is holding pretty well right now. We finally got to the point where the shield recharge is really starting to kick in. We're also fighting against multiple logistics ships, which is kind of annoying. I don't usually have an issue with it, but I have noticed that once in a while there is like a graphical bug with nanocores in general on certain phones. Wow, look at the repair that they're just giving to that thing. We've got to break through this tank a little bit. Yep, the rattlesnakes are... the Cobra is definitely gonna have troubles here. If this repair stuff keeps messing everything up. I'm pretty sure it's the battlecruisers that have the repairs. I just don't know which ones it is.
We're being warp scrambled.
might be the battleships as well. Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna have to work on figuring out how to get a little bit more DPS out of these guys. I can still use the Star Melody Nanocore to get through quite a few ships. I mean, there's a lot of them that are
We're
within
being warp scrambled.
7 to 15 kilometers. Nice, story riding and hanging out. How you doing today, Raptor? But I guess, seeing how long this is taking to get through, I could probably use the Star Melody twice. One at the beginning of each wave. So let's go ahead and utilize our special weapon. Oh, that one doesn't matter. This one actually made it through pretty okay. The other two were kind of struggling with all the repairs going on. Hey Larry, how you doing tonight? We're doing good. We are putting the Cobras to the test. Okay, and what I want to do is I'm going to swap them out to the... Oh, I guess I don't have the ogres in this one. Why are Raven Navy issues so expensive? Yeah, it's just bad. Okay, we need something a little bit better here. I think we're kinda out of luck though. Okay, the damage really isn't that bad here now. Damn, that really seems like the ogres are doing quite a bit better. We've been out of missile range, so that definitely doesn't help. The next two missions are gonna be pretty difficult. We've definitely gotta use our normality in order to get through.
Docking request accepted.
There we go.
Docking request accepted.
I was wondering where my ogres were. Alright, that should be a little bit better. Just trying to think about how I'm gonna deal with 2 waves of enemies, and my only real option here is to use the Star Melody to clear out as many of the small stuff as possible. And that's just how it's gonna be.
Undocking. Undocking.
Enemy ships detected.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled. We're under attack. We're under attack.
And we're gonna start off with our damage control here.
We're being warp scrambled.
Now that we've given some time for things to move close to us, we're gonna go ahead and nuke everything that's within 15. Kind of the same result here. We're gonna try to use our damage control and our shield extenders on cooldown to negate some of the damage. Same with our DPS modules. Yeah, the ogres are just a better option. I'm seeing better damage numbers, even though they are slower. But for this event, the ogres are doing a lot better. this was a lot better this time around. Last time was like a trial to see what was working and what wasn't, what I'd have to do to make it possible, and this was an enactment of implementing everything that I learned from the previous mission to do better. Okay, so we're probably gonna have the cooldown ready for when we get the next wave. I think if you don't have Star Melody, you have to have a shield booster. Here. I don't think you have a choice. Hi Kubi, how you doing today? Oh, nice. Last few games before you sleep. That's pretty cool.
Enemy ships
Okay, we're on wave 2 with this character.
We're under attack. We're under attack. Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Oh boy, this one's gonna have fun.
We're under attack. We're being warp scrambled.
Okay, I think we've waited long enough that there's enough things around us. It's go ahead and use our Star Melody. Same with this one. It got rid of quite a few enemies on this character. Let's go ahead and do our thing on this character as well. Huh. Alright, good night, Riley. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Of course, the higher DPS I have, the easier time I will have breaking through the tank of these things. I think Riley went to bed. There's a lot of repairs coming in from these guys. Yeah, I mean, he could probably try it. I'm sure he's looked at a lot of different things, though. I'm just not sure if any of it works. Well, how has everybody's Wasteseeker event been going? Have you been having fun with it? Have you struggled at all? Alright. The
Docking request
Wasteseeker
accepted.
event, have you been enjoying it? Have you struggled with it? That's what I'm doing right now. It is the new, well, the returning event. You access it from Faction War Games, and it's the Wasteseeker Combat test. It is a completely PvE environment that takes you out of normal space. You'll get a ton of loyalty points, as well as you'll start getting merit. It's a really good event, especially if you have something like an Orca. You can do up to today's missions. If you have a Rorqual, you can do everything up until, I believe, here? Pretty much the end of Super Expert. Just with combat fittings. I'm gonna go without the shield extender this time around. And then I need to change this thing to have the auto orbit. Because I forgot to do that. But yeah, you can do it with mining ships. I have a couple of videos showing the Rorqual running it, last time it was around.
Undocking.
And we're gonna go with a little bit higher DPS,
Warp drive
to
active.
help us against those battleships with the repairs.
We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled.
Start off with the damage control. Give it a few more seconds here before things really start coming around us. we're just about getting ready to hit Wave 2. And we've still got a pretty long time on our Star Melody Nanocore.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. We're under attack.
$160 seconds left on the Star Melody Nanocore. Honestly, the incoming DPS does not seem that bad. We're in a pretty good spot. Hey, Snoopy, how you doing today? I'm doing good. We're, just finishing up the last mission of the set for the alphas. It's not been too bad. The first one went a little rough, but I was trying to do that one without the Star Melody Nanocore. Yeah. Yeah, how'd you do? My tank is doing pretty good for now. But I think after, like, the first or the second mission of next week, I don't think these Cobras will handle anymore. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Three waves isn't bad, it's just time consuming. Dealing with the running battleships is gonna be a huge problem. They're already tanky enough, but them being able to run away at light speed is gonna have to make me probably put on an afterburner. We won't see those battleships until much later, so that's good. Nice. Yeah, so far we're not doing too bad on the tank aspect. I think it really depends on what I'm up against. Whether it's a bunch of battleships or a bunch of cruisers and stuff. I think I was down to like 65% on one character. The rest have not been below like 70. Alright, so that mission is completed for that character.
Docking request accepted.
Yeah, 82% as a number is pretty good. That's awesome. Right, so has that increased our faction rate yet? No, we haven't gotten anything yet. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It takes me until like the last 6 or 8 ships before I start like stabilizing on my shield and actually going up. I think if I was down to like 55% shield, we'd be stable anyway. Like I said, I built these ships more for Dormant Realm, not for going up against these high resistance battleships. The high resistance battleships just kinda kill the capabilities of these. I mean, we're only sitting on about 2.7 thousand DPS. I have got to get that nanocore up. Upgraded. But they did make it through pretty comfortably on all 3 missions this week.
Docking request
I'm
accepted.
hoping they'll be able to do the next 3 missions, because that would be really nice. Let's check real quick how many loyalty points we have now. Okay, 122,000. If we can get upwards of like... I wonder if any of these would be worth selling. Yeah, I think that would be worth selling if we can get 150,000? Yeah, you have like double my shield amount, which is incredible. Right now I'm at 75, but when I put on like a large extender, I'm at 84. Why? Why do I have a Republic fleet on this thing? I definitely need to upgrade that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you've also got like double my DPS too, which is absolutely insane. Alright, so now we're gonna swap over to Cadet T10 Day 1. Oh look, it was all active anyway. No, it wasn't. Oh well. Y'all know where I live anyway. Alright, let's get T10 Day 1 in there. I don't know what ship I want to run through it. I think... I think, having the option of the Revelation, the Phoenix, the Nidhogger, or the Naglfar. The Naglfar and the Nidhogger are probably going to be my best bet for clearing it out quickly. But I don't know what you guys would want to see. Yep. That's so good. I can't wait till I have a fit fight like that. What do you guys think? What do you want to see run the Wasteseeker event? Of course you want to see a Morris. Hmm. I think realistically we're gonna end up completing this with the Naglfar? No, the Nidhogger. is the one we'll probably end up actually completing this with. However, for now, just for content, maybe I'll do like the Revelation or Naglfar. Revelation is pretty fun. I have been enjoying it. Yes, I do have multi-frequency.
Undocking.
It is a good looking ship, I will say. I do really like the look of the Revelation. It is one of the many reasons why I swapped from missiles to lasers a long time ago, and then went back to missiles eventually. That's funny. Yeah, I really want to be able to fly all of the capital ships on this character, just because it provides a lot of variety. It'll give content to the channel. We can do like viewer request streams on what ship they want to see, because this stuff is not readily available to most players. Like, capital ships are already hard enough to get.
We're being warp scrambled.
So being able to show them off for people is one of the best ways for me to do this. And I do love the combat capabilities of the Rev. It just does not care about, like, the resistance. It's still gonna hit hard. We're actually gonna get to test the tank on this thing here in a bit.
Shield damaged.
There we go, we're starting to be in armor. So we have 108,000 armor repair every 6.8 seconds. And we could have a little bit better if I was to swap out the micro warp drive for some extra resistance. I'm still not even low enough to even consider using one armor repair. Finally, we're about low enough to use one armor repair. Yeah, they can be very difficult.
Docking request accepted.
I mean, the experience that I had last year with the Phoenix Bodyguard was definitely pretty difficult. I don't know, I still want to keep going with the Rev. It's such a cool ship. It looks like we've got quite a few
Undocking.
stages this time around.
Enemy ships detected.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool to have, like, a fleet equivalent of this, where you pretty much need a fleet of ships to do it. I think that could be a lot of fun. Just get a bunch of guys hanging out together, killing Wasteseekers.
Warp drive active.
Alright, let's go ahead and lock up all the
Being
battleships.
warp scrambled. We're being
Then we'll
warp
start getting
scrambled.
the battle cruisers. Okay. Yeah, I really do like the level 45 pulse crystal implant. It is so good.
We're being warp scrambled.
And the best part about the pulse crystal implant, the level 45 activation, it can be used on any ship. So, if you've got like a super tank, Phoenix, you activate the pulse crystal implant and just heal until you can't heal anymore. Yeah, 3 days left until we start seeing maybe a capital ship or two. Maybe. We don't know if they've changed it.
Shield damaged.
Yeah, I've got to go back and watch some of my old VODs and see what next week actually brings. Or at least in the next 3 days, what that brings. We tracked that thing pretty
Shield
good.
damaged.
Look how fast he's going.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Alright, lots of battleships to take care of.
We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to get... I don't know, there might be a chance that your Cobra could kill it. It's pretty slim, but... if you get the right spawn instead of the repair carrier, you might get, like, the full DPS carrier. And that could make a difference for you. Because there are different spawns of carriers that we noticed from last time. Nice. Alright, they have now gotten through like 70,000 HP. They have now gotten through 100,000 HP. And the best part about something like the Revelation is that all I have to do is use one cat battery for one cycle and watch my health. Boop. All the way back up. And that's just on one cycle. It pretty much costs me nothing to heal 200,000 HP and keep going. Yeah, I think the Wasteseeker battleships are really cool. It would be interesting if they ever included it as a playable ship, but I doubt they will. Alright, this should be the end of that one.
Docking request accepted.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to change the resistance, unless that's just what it was and it could not take any more resistance modifiers, which would be kind of funny. Why do I always do this to myself? Alright, now I'm gonna swap over to the Nidhogger. So this is what we're working with so far. Let me take this. We have no hanger yet. We've got to swap out this hyperspatial. That one's pretty much useless to me. But, I mean, it's alright. It's getting there. It's like getting a cyan without skills. We're at 4-3 there. So we'll have to see how we go from here. I don't have a shield command burst out here yet, but I will in the near future.
Undocking.
Yeah, like 100% in resistance incoming. You know it. But to be fair, there is a few ships in the game that have really high resistance.
Warp drive active.
We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled.
Not many people seem to use them because they're so expensive to fly. You can kind of see just how much more reliable a carrier is compared to, like, a dreadnought for hitting these targets. Normally the Dread would not even try to hit any of the frigates. It just lets its versatile or anti-ship Sea Whiz do the job. Yeah. I really think we need an alternate to the Nightmare and the Fiend. And the Sisters of Eve ships. Whatever they're called. Yeah, Sisters of Eve. We really need some different ships to choose between. Yeah, Nestor, thank you. Realistically, I should be running a yellow hardener on here instead of, like, the micro warp drive for this event. Like I said, a reactive hardener is going to be a lot better for an event like this where there's only 2 damage types. And that's kind of how I want to set up a Chimera, is I want to have, like, all tank on the Chimera. Yeah. I mean, it's fine if other battleships or normal battleships can outpace them in DPS and whatnot, but they should not be outpaced in defense. And they're not. They're meant to be a guardian for a reason. If I can get my hands on the Chimera before the end of this event, we can really test the tank on it pretty heavily. Yeah, the new fighters, really hurt the Guardian and Logi battleships. At least they are limited to heavy fighters and not normal light fighters. That would have been really bad if they were like normal light fighters. I don't have my aerospace implant on right now. I was wondering what was going on. I don't have aerospace implant. I'm still running multi-frequency. Honestly, it's a good choice. I think that box is the cheapest box we'll get for fighters and lightweight ships and things like that. I think it's a really good choice. Yeah, I mean, the rocket lightweight ships are still really good. It would be my personal preference, but I do know the turret ones can be better. Yeah, all of your bonuses are in turrets, which is part of the choice you have to make.
Enemy ships detected.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they do about that.
We're under attack.
That'd be cool. No, you'd have to go up to the Titan for that. Yeah. Well, you still have to go up to a Titan for that. Because you can only fit, battle cruisers, Jitter. I swear, if we get, like, a lightweight ship using Titan, and it has battleships and carriers, or dreads, for God's sake. Lightweight dreadnought. That would be disgusting. No, it's more likely it would just be lightweight battleships, though. Since there's no mention of, like, lightweight ships above that, it's only mentioned that lightweight battleships exist. Imagine that. You forget to turn off your shield booster, so now you're at 37% capacitor. Darn it. Why am I like this? Yeah, don't worry about it. I forgot to change over. I was flying the Revelation a little bit earlier. I just forgot to swap to the aerospace implant. the high-tech mindset. Snoopy's back, yay! Laser implant, Larry. Yeah, overall this has been a pretty, chill experience. Even though we're not very highly skilled in our light fighters, it really doesn't seem to matter here. It's pretty much clearing everything out about as fast as the Revelation would. Maybe a little bit faster since it's more reliable damage. I will say... Hey, Donut, no problem. Welcome back. I think... when I go to some of the harder missions that we're going to have to swap over to a carrier for, I definitely need to get my hands on the light velocity module for the fighters. And I think I'm definitely going to want to have a Chimera. 10 million SP. Nice. No, I think they mean 100 million. Right? You do mean 100 million, right, Snoopy? Oh, 10 million free SP. Nice. so much SP. You are nuts. Even I'm probably like a third less than that. I think. I'll have to recheck that on my main account. Yeah, that's true. I waited to do Omega until much later. Yeah, it took me a little while to get hooked on the game, but I finally did come around. No, wait, wrong character. Alright, so that was our last combat test here.
Docking request accepted.
Ah. Pretty cool. Sometimes I really just like opening my hangar and showing off all the capital ships, and then just exiting out. it's a little bit of a pleasure for me. Alright, I have 339 million SP on my account. So I have more than I thought I did. And that's on my main account. Yes, you saw Nagafar. We've got 70 million on T10 Day 1. Right, I really don't know what to do from here. My entire goal was to do all of the Wasteseekers today. And I did. Yeah. Yep, you have definitely held on to my supercarrier for a few days. Although it didn't really work out, which is unfortunate. Jesus. Yeah, I don't want to know what I have between all accounts, but it's probably somewhere in the, like, 600 to 900 million. And I do really like the Revelation, though. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Anyway. Well, I think that is it for me today. Sorry you came in so late, right at the end. But we did pretty good. Let me just check how many loyalty points we've got. 126,000. Is there anything I actually need here? Yeah, I am. But I also have... Yeah, I was having a look at that. There's one on the market? What do you mean? There we go, that's a lot better value. We're actually not far off here. Interesting. Yeah, once we hit Sergeant, we can get most things on the market. That's funny. What do I actually want to do here? I don't know. Damn, I have only just enough IP to cover one loss right now. No, capitals are at 60%. That's because you're in a vein, I think, right? Or Not Bane. The other one. I wonder if they made it so the basic ships, the basic capitals are at 60%. Weird. Because even here it says 50%. Yeah, I did lose the Phoenix once. Streamer discount. I wish. I don't even understand this anymore. See what my Dormant Realm IP is. Virtual does not have any supers. He only has them on the test server. He may have like 3 trillion, but he doesn't have any supers. Honestly, I don't think he has anything left for capital ships. His rev is decommissioned right now. He took his revelation out of commission a while back. Yeah. Yeah, so 3,000 for a loss in Dormant Realm is not bad. That's actually really good. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna end it there. Thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate all the support you've been. It really means a lot, so thank you. I will probably see you tomorrow for Dormant Realm Monday. So stick around for that. 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the afternoon. And we'll get a bunch of Dormant Realm carries done. Take care and be safe.